if you play as much as me, you gotta try, because otherwise you're just losing so much money. So this is one of those situations that when you add an extra deuce in, you actually go deeper. So while we wouldn't hold deuce 5-4, we will hold deuce 5-4 suited with a deuce. Here we go. Beer versus machine. We're playing some base, or I'm not playing baseball. I was just talking about baseball. Maybe think about baseball. Beer versus machine. We're playing some Deuces Wild. We're playing dollar denomination, so it is $50 to spend. We're playing 10-handed. Oh, one gap straight flush draw with a deuce. We want to see those deuces. And we are. It's good. It's a good way to start. We started with roughly 2,000 in the machine. I think we had 1995. Now we exactly had 2,000, so already profiting. Hope everybody's doing well. Just had a big trip to Vegas, so there should be a lot of great videos coming out. These Deuces Wild videos come out usually a little bit quicker than the Vegas videos are the bulk. So like when we're in Vegas, I'm shooting a bunch of videos. That's the bulk of my videos. And then these Deuces Wild videos are closer to home, so it's a little bit more current. And we had lots of great videos in Vegas, lots of great sessions. So definitely look forward to those. If you aren't a subscriber already, consider subscribing. While I was in Vegas, as always happens, when people talk about tipping, there was a tipping story that kind of blew up even outside of the world of gambling, I think, or at least the world of Vegas Twitter and Vegas gambling. Somebody hit the Megabucks. I don't know, it's like I think it restarts at $10 million. Somebody hit it. And I guess they didn't tip anything to the slot attendants. And so Vital Vegas, who tends to be a bit controversial in the space, but provides a ton of good information, but is very pro-tipping, was going on and on about it, and it picked up kind of outside of it. People were like, why would you tip slot attendants? They don't do anything, and that led to a whole discussion. One of the things I don't think that I knew was that with a Megabucks, that's actually an annuity, so it's not even the 10 million. You get, it might be payments over yearly payments over 35 years, which is kind of, seems poor to me. Like, I'm not saying, obviously $10 million is a lot of money, but I feel like in this day and age, do they really need to do it as an annuity? Obviously they are paying a lot less to do it that way. But I mean, that figures into the thinking, I think, in terms of like, maybe if you are going to tip, how much you would tip. So I'm interested in your thoughts. I won't bias it. I will say, in general, I tend to tip about 1% on jackpots. I would definitely not tip 1% here, honestly, if I were the person who won that. But just to give you an idea, I tip usually 1%. And I know lots of people don't tip at all, and some people are like, why do you tip so little? So, I don't know, I guess question of the day is, if you won a $10 million Megabucks jackpot, knowing it's annuity, you don't like get all that money right away. You get maybe like you maybe get maybe $500,000 that year. Probably not even that. You might get like 300,000. Again, I was less than impressed. What would you tip? I talked about it with Mrs. Beard, and I had a number in mind, but now I don't feel like I share it because I'll just bias the answers if I answer. Not that you all really care what I think, but you know what I mean. We'll see. We'll talk about the results. But yeah, question of the day: how much would you tip on the Megabucks? 10 million. It's fun to think about winning 10 million for sure. I will say I tip probably the least I've tipped ever when I hit a non-real jackpot here, like $1,200. I'm like, if you're not going to update the machines, like I kept a little bit, but very small amount. But when I'm getting a $1,200 jackpot, I do not feel incentivized to tip. Like they're just wasting their time by not updating a machine. And this is a really good casino. Like they have the capacity to do it. They could definitely update the machines. They also don't have tax implications here. It's tribal land, so it's not like they have to collect certain taxes for the government. We're down about $500. Honestly, we could be down a lot more for how questionable we've had the hands we've had. Let's get 3 deuces for a sweat. That would be fun, right? Give us a shot at the 4 deuces. Give us a shot at Wild Royal. It's 5 of a kinds.
You never know.
That said, I tend to... No, that was on me. That was just an error on my part. Yeah, slow down, for sure. With 1 deuce, we do not hold 5-4. The lowest we hold is 5-6. So if that's a 6, then we hold it. If that's a 4, we don't. And we never hold 4 to a flush with 1 deuce and Deuces Wild. Or Deuces Wild bonus for that matter. Want to complicate things even more, Rio, which I think I talked about in the last video, is now doing... They have 3 different games that are better odds now than jacks are better on a 100-pay machine. And one of those that's not better but is close to the same is Deuces Wild bonus. Instead of like, sometimes we pay a 13-4, 3-3-1, 3-3-1-1 game. I know that doesn't mean anything to you unless you play it a lot, but essentially, but this one's actually, they pay you the same as, they pay you 4 of a kind, 20, and they pay you full house 20, which in Wild is very strange to do. Like, they don't do that. I think they accomplish it, but maybe making a straight flush a little worse than you would in the normal game. But my only point is, if I were to play that for baseball, like, this is 100 play I'm talking about at the Rio. If I were to play that in baseball, I would have to learn yet another variation of Deuces Wild. It would be Deuces Wild bonus, but it would be, this 9-4-4 version. Which I don't know if my head can hold that many versions. I think it plays pretty similar, but has some differences. I actually used to play it. There was an online casino I play at. I still play at. I play it a lot. They have that game. And so I have played it in the past. But that would be yet another version that I have to keep in my head. It's hard enough for me sometimes to keep Deuces Wild and Deuces Wild bonus, kind of the more 99% games in my head, because I don't have the best memory. No improvements on 3 7s. It's rough. And then if I was being hyper vigilant, I'm going to Poker Fest, or Video Poker Fest, I should say, July 7th through 10th, I think. I don't know. I'll try to put the link in the description down below. In Reno. That's a Peppermill, and Peppermill has, I don't know if it's 100 play, but they definitely have a not so ugly deuces, which is like the 99.7% game that you really only can get in Vegas at places like Station Casinos. M has it, some Arizona Charlie's types have it. A couple places in Henderson have it, but nobody has it in 100 play. And I think up at Peppermill or somewhere up there, they have it in 100 play. So that used to be the game, like back in the day when Bob Dancer and them were playing it. That was actually the lesser game because it wasn't the quote full pay game. But a lot of people learn that game. Now for me, it doesn't even make sense to learning because I get so few chances to actually play it. And so I just use my kind of normal strategy of like this 15-9 version, even when it's 16-10. That's the difference. Meaning 5 of a kind would be 80 and straight flushes would be 50. That's the only difference. But that does create variations. I'd rather learn triple double or something new than know those variations down. Now, if I started playing that game a lot, maybe I would learn them, but I don't have the opportunities to play it a lot. And I know some of you are like, why even learn, just have fun. Well, for me, part of the fun is trying to play at least close to the book. I certainly don't do it all the time, but if you play as much as me, you gotta try, because otherwise you're just losing so much money. So this is one of those situations that when you add an extra deuce in, you actually go deeper. So while we wouldn't hold deuce 5-4, we will hold deuce 5-4 suited with a deuce. So that additional deuce, we actually hold this. Here we go. Well, we got 4 straight flushes out of it, not bad. $230. Need a couple more of those to get our money back to where we were. With the flush, we do hold a flush with just the deuce. If there were 2 deuces, we wouldn't. We'd roll for just the 2 deuces. I barely even comment on the 3 to a royal draws anymore. Thinking if I don't talk about them, maybe they'll finally hit. But well, I've been doing that for a while and they aren't hitting. At least we got a few improvements there. Inside straight draw looking for the jack. We don't like them, but we play for them. They're better than throwing all the cards away. Open-ended, we hit 1 straight. I literally can only play for like 2 hours today, max, because there's actually like a bonus at our local pin property I need to get to, and that's going to take an hour to drive to. We need, it's starting to feel like we need some queen, or not queen. We literally got queens when I asked for it, accidentally. We need some deuces. If you want to actually listen to that part, that's what I really want. I feel like we're going to struggle in this game without deuces. $200 full house is nice. Open and straight with the deuce, we actually keep. You see, we almost got our money back, $45. Granted, you generally get your money back holding the deuce anyway, but we don't hold it here because it goes too low, and it means if we hit a deuce, it actually has to count it as a deuce, so that's the problem. I want to be clear when I say these things, I'm not saying you don't know these things, I'm just saying we have a wide audience, and some people actually watch these videos to gradually pick up how to play games. That's how I learned a lot of games, watching videos, and not really like this is how you play, but kind of picking up stuff over time. And then I felt comfortable enough playing, and then I would review hand rankings while I played, but I at least had a base. And that's why I mention them, because maybe there's a few people out there who are trying to learn the game, so I throw that in every once in a while. But it's certainly no indictment on your knowledge. I know a lot of you know how to play video poker better than me. Well, despite the results, I had fun. We lost roughly $500, but I appreciate you hanging out with me. Answer the question of the day. If you were to win the Megabucks, which is a $10,000 progressive, it costs lots of different games, Wolf Run, other things, and knowing that I think the annuity pays out over 35 years. You can't even do 20? Okay, sorry, I'm ranting on that. But the annuity pays out a lot, so you're probably going to get no more than like, I don't know, $300,000 every year. What would you tip? That was the question that created all the controversy in the last week or two, so I'm just interested in your thoughts on that. Appreciate you all. There'll be a video on the screen. Go ahead and click on that. We'll be playing some more video poker in mere moments. Appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.